Hi, how are we doing? I recently posted a journal with me, kind of making the last couple of pages in my journal. So let's have a flip through. This journal has been by my side for quite a long time. I started it towards the end of November last year and I just wrapped it up in June. So it encapsulates quite a lot of months. I also feel like this is when I found my creative style the most while making this journal. I feel like I took a lot of risks, made a lot of like very creatively fun pages, even messed with a couple of formats that I previously had on pages. And yeah, it's a thick one. To be fair, it was a thick one when I started it. I'm looking at the back that says it had 320 pages, which I think is the most I've ever had in like just like a regular journal. So with of course all my like pastiness of shit, it's become a very thick beast, like to the point where I fear it's gonna fall apart on me very soon. So I'm very glad actually I'm done with it. You can't really tell that well. Okay, wait, you can. Here's look how detached that is. It's bad. And like you can even see like the pages are bigger than the cover, like it's coming off, so it's struggling. So I'm actually very happy to put it back into its retirement because it's well deserved. Like I love this journal so much and it's so sad to say goodbye to it, but like I said, it's very much needed. This is a journal from the HEMA. It's like a cloth cover. Of course it has nature or Miffy on it, and yeah, it's aligned because that's always what I get. And just let me do a flip through. So this is a chunker, so it's gonna take a while to flip through this, so grab a drink, grab a snack, but let's get started. So when you open it up, you have some end pages, did nothing with this obviously, and then on this awkward first page like I always do, wrote a little like letter, kind of just chronicle where I am in my life. Then first page is this review for the Kingdom of Copper and the Empire of Gold. I combined him into a one page and I do really like how this turned out. Then we have my library haul for November, I believe this is. A comedy show I went to. I just end up doing these recap pages for them always, just cutting out like the brochure from my local theater as well as including my tickets. So that's what this is. And then we have new music. So these are all the songs that came out in November and what I thought of them, just in like one or two lines. And then the green check markers if I went to my playlist, and red is if it did not, kind of like my straight to the playlist videos, you know. Then we have a recap for the Masked Singer. I basically did this for the Masked Singer here in Flanders, where I just wrote down all of the like characters and then just kind of who I thought might be in them and stuff, just kind of kept track of things. So that's what this is. And then I have a little daily, and then I have this spread which I love. We went to the Studio 110 in Kleinwansing Spring, so this is like a little Dutch door spread for that. On this side I just have pictures from the show, and then on this inside flap I have the set list. The show was split into two parts, so I did part one, part two, and then the spring songs are in blue and then the non-spring songs are in green. And then I have some pictures at the bottom. This is from the after party, and then these are pictures. This is a picture of me, and there's a picture of me and my mom at the show. And then the last part of this spread is this one, which is also pictures from the show, but this time kind of like focusing on the special guests. The secret guest for our show was Sync, so I put that here. And then these are like the regular guests that came to the show. And then we combined that with like a 2-day trip to Antwerp as well. So this is a little like junk journal spread for it with my tickets. These are logos from receipts, and then from packaging, some photos obviously. And then we are entering my wrap up for the month. These are always structured the same way, with the cover or movie post, the cover from the book or the movie poster, like show poster, the title, and then book has the author, movie has the release year, and then the show has the season. And then just a couple of lines of my thoughts of it, and of course the star rating. And these are just in the order that happened a month, like books, movie, shows, all mixed in. And you can pause these because these don't contain spoilers if you want to know my thoughts. And yeah, I did also mark rewatches and rereads like this. And then that's it for November, and this is December. This is one of my favorite kind of like cover spreads, like cover pages that I made for a month. I don't know, I really like how this titling turned out. And then December was a very busy month, so there's quite a lot on the list, and the rest is therefore kind of simple. But I do really like how this turned out. Then we have another daily, we have another comedy show I went to. This time I just put it on one page because why not. Then Spotify Wrapped dropped, so of course I did a little recap page, except don't look at this too closely because for some reason my Spotify doesn't track Kadri, and that's like 99% of what I listened to last year, so this kind of looks empty, but I do really like how this turned out even if the stats aren't the most accurate. And then I also just wrote down my top songs of the year, and in these dots it says the amount of times I listened to the song, and again this doesn't include Cat3, so these numbers are really low. So yeah, there we go. Then Jade released the encore to her album That Showbiz Baby, which is basically just like a deluxe version. So instead of making like a double page spread like I typically do, I'm making a single, which is like a little blurb and then like the ranking of the new songs here. Another page for the Masked Singer. Then I got a bunch of new sticker books, so I decided to do another sticker dump. I always think this is a fun way to kind of, you know, if you're scared of using your stickers, I feel like this is a fun way. I just make a page of kind of like the stickers I don't like as much, or I don't really see myself using, like having any use for, and I just put them all on this page, and therefore the sticker book kind of feels broken in and less scary to like use stickers from. So this is something I would really recommend, even if I don't really love how it turned out. Then I also got some new washi tapes. Those over here. More dailies. Percy Jackson and the Olympian season 2 dropped, so I did this breakdown for each episode, and then whenever an episode would release I would just write down my thoughts on an episode. And this I wouldn't read because there are spoilers in here, but this is just something I really love doing for like some of my favorite shows that are releasing. So I think just a fun way to kind of like keep track of my thoughts on this season. So that's that. Then another Martina page, this quote page, which is just because this song was stuck in my head, so I just wrote "Food cake just makes me sick," which is a little lyric from "Is It New Year's Yet" by Sabrina Carpenter. And then I decided to decorate it with a bunch of Christmas stickers, but I hate how this turned out, so don't look at it too long. More daily stuff. Like I said, December was busy, so I just did a lot of writing. Then I did this page for Something Wicked by Fallon Ballard. This is the first book review page where I didn't like print any stuff from Pinterest. I just, you know, used my own stationery. This is the Masked Singer again. And then I have another daily with a picture from my family, so that's covered up. And then we have Christmas cards. I always feel bad throwing away cards that I got, so I really like just like sticking them in my journal this way, and therefore I can look back on them always. These are just in the envelope, so I can still look back on them, and I put these stickers on them to just make it look a little bit more visually interesting. Then I had this review page for The Court of the Dead, and I really love it. It's out. I have like these little stickers that represent different elements of the book, so I really enjoyed doing that. Then we have my winter TBR, and I really like how this page turned out. It's very wintry, I feel like, and yeah, I don't know, it looks good. And I have another kind of like junk journal-esque spread where we went to the Worms the Week in December, so I have some pictures from that. Again, it's me and my mom, some tags, some stuff that I bought. This is a shopping bag. I just really loved the illustration on it, so I decided to put that in here. I then have another library haul. I really love this washi tape, and I really didn't use it enough in the Christmas season, but oh well. And then we have another daily. Then we have this page for the Era store because I watched the end of an era and then the final show, of course. I just kind of wanted to make a Taylor Swift page, so I did. Then we have another Marcena page, another daily, and we have this page because I, in December, read 5 Agatha Christie books. I did that for a reading vlog. It's like my introduction to Agatha Christie, and I wanted to make a page to kind of commemorate it. And then we are entering another wrap-up. I did this one so messily. I don't think it looks that great, but yeah, you can pause and read if you want. It's a mess. I know, I didn't do my best kind of keeping the writing clean, but what you gonna do about it? Yeah, it's quite a lot, and I feel like that's why it's so messy, is because this is the most I've done in a wrap-up up until this point, so there we go. And then we have, of course, the new music page, and then we get into some end-of-year wrap-up pages with my favorite books. I really love how I did the title on here. My printer was running out, so that's why these look a little bit funky, but there you go. Then my favorite songs of 2025, and then my shows and movies ranked from 2025. So these are new releases, of course, in here. I did videos for all of these things as well, so you can go check it out if you want. Then lastly, we have my reading stats. These are all from Storygraph, printed out and written out. And again, I think this page looks like a mess. I was kind of trying to emulate the Spotify Wrapped kind of vibe with it, but I don't know, I don't think it looks as good. And then we are entering 2026 with my January cover page, which is very simple. We have another Marstino page. This was for the finale, so it just has who it ended up being, not any of them like my personal guesses. Then we have my library haul part 1, because I got so many books in January that I don't know, it went out of hand. And then I read Good Spirit, so I did this page for it, and I think it looks really cute, very simple but cute. Then we have some reading sprints that I watched. I kind of like keeping track of how much I read the window, so that's what this is. Then my winter reading wrap up. I don't really love how this turns out, but also I don't hate it. I feel like the more time passes, the less I hate it. But when I originally made this, I was like, fuck this is terrible, but it's not that bad. And then another comedy show I went to, well, I did this spread for Picture Perfect. This side is just like my regular review page, and then this side is a quote page. And I just really love how this turned out. This is a quote from the book, because it wasn't obvious, and this is one of my favorite books that I read this year so far. So I love that I dedicated like a full spread to it and loved it. Then I did the spread for How Did I Get Here by Louis Tomlinson. And this side is my album review, this side is my ranking. I feel like I should have spaced this out a bit better, because I feel like this just looks very empty, but for the rest I do quite like this one. And then more library haul. Like I said, things kind of got out of hand in January, so I had more books from the library that I then also included on this page. And then I did an album ranking of Vleugels by Kat 3. I do album rankings on my second channel for all Kat 3 albums, is eventually the goal, but I did Vleugels in January, and this is how I would rank it if you want to know. And then I have another kind of like drink journal type spread, because my mom and I went shopping, so I have just like a bunch of tags and things on here. And then I have this page, which is for Wonder Man. It's like the exact same concept as the Percy Jackson one, but then of course for Wonder Man. Then I have the same vibe for Bridgerton season 4. This is for part 1. Again, same thing, spoilers in here. And then the new music released in January. I also throughout January just absolutely binged to Bo Girl, so I had to make a commemorative spread for that, and I think this looks really cute and just really fits the vibe of the show as well, so I'm just really glad with how this turned out. And then we have another wrap up, Are You Tired of Me Just Yet? It's the same shit every time. And yeah, this one just looks cleaner. I'm glad. And here you can see the absolute two Bo Girls binge very clearly in here. So yeah. Then we have my February cover page. I really love how this title turned out. It's nothing special, but I think it looks cute. So there we go. I ranked the album EO, so that's over here as well. And then I also ranked Verliefd for Valentine's Day, so that's over here. And then I did this review page for Women's in Mr. Bridgerton, which I reread. And for this one I did include some pictures because I just wanted to use Colin and Penelope from the show. And on the other side I have my review page for The Mistake, which I kind of went into without a plan, and I also quite like how this turned out. Then again, another library haul. We have my review page for On the Way to the Wedding. I'm obsessed with this one. I feel like it looks so cute, and I feel like, I don't know, I had a vision for this and it worked out perfectly, and I think it's cute. And then I have my another daily. Then this is another comedy show I went to. Then this is one of my favorite spreads in this journal, and that's for My Ego Told Me To by Leanne. I had this idea just randomly in my head because the whole kind of story of this album is that there's a green side and a red side to Leanne, like her two alter egos, and that's represented on the album. And I wanted to use that green and red on my spread, and that's how this turned out. And like I said, I'm obsessed with it. I think it turned out so good, and yeah, just really happy with this. I think it looks beautiful, and this also kind of gave me the nerve to kind of mess up my album review. And like, I typically always had a very strict format to them, and I'm kind of been playing around with that in this journal, and this kind of was the start of that. Then we have The Artful Dodger, again just episode by episode breakdown. You know this by now. Then I got a jacket and it came with these brand stickers, and I didn't really know what to do with them, so I just put them all on this page. And then we have Bridgerton season 4 part 2, and we went to a PPR show, and I made this spread forward. So this is side is pictures of the show. This is from my ticket. Then on the back I put like the little set list and like some other parts from my ticket. And then on this side we have more show pictures. So this is another comedy show I went to. This is a flyer that was on the seats. Then this is more like a comedic play that we went to, so it came with like this program that I also taped in here, so it's fully visible, everything. that's on here. And then I also took some pictures with the cast. I had them sign like the bottom part of my ticket, and I cut that out and put that in here. That's the first time I've done that, and I feel like I'm gonna do it more often because I really like how this looks. And then I did this review page for And Now Back to You by BK Morrison, which I really love, and I love kind of the split cover thing that I did on the page as well. Really like this. And then we have my wrap up, of course. But yeah, here's the wrap up. Don't really have lots to say about the wrap up, and I feel like it always encapsulates so many pages. Then we also have the new music page, obviously. And then we're into March, and for March I kind of went with a bit more of like a collage style for like my monthly theme, and that's what this is. And then I binged the Maple Hill series, so I made a page for that, except that I feel like it looks too cluttered. I should have made this a spread or like made these covers a bit smaller, but hey, it's a bit too late. And then I finally finished the Buffyverse. I've been watching these seasons for a while now, so I finished it, both Buffy and Angel, so I made this like digital spread for them. So on this side we have Buffy, and I have the Scooby Squad, I have a title, I have my thoughts on the show, and then over here I have pictures. This flips out to have some more info, which is like my favorite characters and my seasons ranked. And then here you have more pictures of everyone, fun times, and then you flip this over and you have the exact same concept, but for Angel, where you have just like the gang down here, and then some pictures over here, my thoughts for the show right here, and then you flip this over, you also see the title, and then my favorite characters and the seasons ranked. Isn't it fun? I really love how this page turned out and how interactive it is as well. I don't really feel like I do interactive spreads very often, besides, you know, just like using a digital, and this one feels much more interactive than that, and I really like it. Then this is what I meant when I felt more free to mess up my album review pages, because that's what I did for all the time, this occasionally. I really took like these circles and ran with them and did these circles on here, and yeah, I don't know, I feel like this looks so different, but I love it so much. So there we go. And then we have another library haul. I got the Kiss All the Time Disco Occasionally vinyl, and this had this huge hype stickers, and again, didn't know what to do with them, so I just put them in my journal. Then this is my spring TBR. I feel like it is cute. Kind of struggled with it because I didn't really have any specific spring stationery, so this is what I ended up with, but I still think it looks adorable. And then we ranked Love Cruise on my second channel, so I put a page in for that. And I went Game Changer, and I did this review page, and I really like how it turns out. I think it's cute. And then this is a very involved spread because we went to the Swagger Festival, and it has a lot. Well, I said I don't really do interactive elements a lot. This is an exception. So this is a little brochure that I got, and I taped it in again so you can like see everything that's in there. And when you fold it open, you have the set list, except the set list is so fucking long that if you flip over this, you have more of it. But yeah, I have pictures of the show obviously down here, and then this is from an ad in a magazine that I just cut out, and it's like the poster of the show basically. And then I put more of the set list on the back, and we put our coats in a locker, so I put like the little ticket from the locker on here as well, and I made the background blue, and that was a hassle. But well, I do really love how this turned out, and this was a great show. I had the time of my life. And then this is another kind of like play kind of we went to, comedy play. And then we have my new music, and I love how I did the title on here. I feel like I still want to do that with something else, and I haven't done it yet, but oh well. And then we have my wrap up, of course. Again, quite a lot. I always feel, like I said, these are always a lot of pages and I never know what to say, but there we go. And then this was fun about like kind of having more of a collage theme for this month, is that it gave me a perfect opportunity to kind of like fill up extra space here. And then we're into April, and I kind of went with this green and pink color scheme because I felt like it felt very much like spring and I didn't really have any inspiration, so I went with that. And then I did a ranking of Tiller Romeo, so that's on here obviously. Then this is a review page for The Night in the Moth, which I really love how it turned out. I think it's really cute. And then this is a quote page for I'm Trying Not Friends by Missy Peters. The song was stuck in my head, except I got the lyrics wrong, so don't look at it too closely. Then more reading sprints that I watched, and like I said, I like keeping track of what I read, so that's what I do. And then I did this review page for Throne of Secrets, which I also really like how this turned out. Then we have some dailies, more dailies. We played Flip 7, and this is kind of the score sheet that we kept track of things for, so I put that in here as well because that's always fun to have. And then more dailies, more library haul like always, Then this is something I started doing in April and I really love. Is the thing is, I do a lot of reading vlogs on here, and I just always felt weird not having a place to kind of keep track of those reading vlogs at all in a journal. So I came up with this format to kind of keep track of things. So I have a list of books that I read in the vlogs. Of course, I put the title of the vlog at the top, the list of books, and like a little checklist, and then I write down my star rating. And then because I always use two colors for the month, so like the main color is for books that I read in that month, and then the secondary color is for books that I read in like a previous month. Then I write down the concept of the video, kind of what I want to accomplish with it, then the average rating of that video, and the conclusion of it, because quite a lot of these videos kind of are a bit of a question, so I feel like a conclusion helps a lot. So I did that for did I miss out on these 2025 releases, and can I read my library books before they do, curse edition. And then I made this page for Chronicle by Zane. Kind of kept things simple because I felt like the cover was very simple, and I do really love how this turned out as well. Then we have a ranking for Kumbaya. It was Record Store Day, so I put some hype stickers in here, and there we go, it's nothing special. Then we have the I Gonna Be Your Fantasy Girly recap for a reading vlog again, and then Novato released the deluxe for our album It's Not That Deep, which is called It's Not That Deep Unless You Want It to Be. And again, I did the same thing that I did for the encore. Just write down my thoughts and then do a ranking of the new songs. And then this is just a random page of just like some random stuff I got. The new season things got announced and ticket sale happened for my local theater, so I just wrote down everything we went to. Then I have a daily, my review for Heated Rivalry. I also read Cherry Baby by Rainbow Rowell and I loved it, so I made this page, and again I kept it pretty simple, again to kind of reflect the cover a bit, and I don't know how to feel about that, but oh well. Then we have a Reading April New Releases vlog recap, and then a new music page, of course, and another wrap up. I did this alternating colors for the titles. Well, typically I only pick one, and I do really like how this looks, especially because I had two colors obviously, and I made a mistake here, so don't look at that. And yeah, because I had like two very different colors for this month, I feel like this was a fun thing to do, obviously. And then we get to May, and May is another month I didn't really have inspiration for, so I just kept it simple, and I ended up doing quite a lot, so that's great because I have the room for all of that. And then we have another ranking, this time for Doorn Roosje, the musical album. Then we have my library haul. I only got one book, so now this all looks very empty, but oh well. Then this is again one of my favorite pages I've done, and that's the spread for Waiko. Waiko is a Flemish TV show that's actually for kids, but I love it. And I binged it, and I decided to make this spread for it. And then I got a bunch of new acrylic markers, so I just did a little swatch on this page, of course, on white paper and on black, see how they look. And then I made this page for the How Did I Get Here extended edition. Again, blurb at the top, ranking at the bottom. This is just a great format. And then I read Tough Guy by Rachel Reed, made a page for it. Like I said, has like, kind of like the same format as the Rivalry page. And then Spotify turned 20 and released everyone's stats. So these are mine. I kept things very simple, and then this is a list of my all-time top songs. And the way you can tell some of my hyperfixations from this, from like very different times, especially during the pandemic, it's painful to see. And again, K3 not included, so I don't know how accurate this is. And yeah, there we go. And then I did this quote page for There's Nothing Like a Woman in Love by Perry, and this is again another song that was just stuck in my head, so thought it was fun to do. Then Aaron Blommaert released his album Oorsprong, so I made a page for that, and again went with a bit of a different vibe for this one, but again love how this turned out. And then Off Campus dropped, and of course I was instantly obsessed, and I made this page for this very different composition than like typically my pages are, but I do really love how this turned out to have a little like collage on this side and then like my thoughts on the other. And then I did another reading vlog, this one for May's releases, so that's this page. And then I ranked De Wereld Rond, and then I had Common Goal and Role Model, the next two series in the Game Changer series, so there we go. Camille released her album 9 Levens, and this is such a cutie pie spread, and the album is called 9 Lives. as a reference to the fact that cats have 9 lives. So I put 9 cats on here. You can count that because I did that exactly perfectly, and I think that's really fun as well. And then very different vibe for Fluorescence by Maisie Peters, which came out the same day, and I did this page for it. It's very much simpler and I just lit it with flowers, but I think this is also very beautiful. I really love how this turned out as well. And then I read Better in Black by Cassandra Clare. This is a collection of Shadowhunter short stories focusing on love, and I just did this like Dutch door thing, kind of writing down my thoughts on each story and then also my overall thoughts on the collection, just to have it in there. And then we have new music for May, of course. Then towards the end of May, I got like a mini camera, so I've been using that to take much more pictures, and therefore I thought this would be fun. I made like a monthly recap for which I kind of was able to use things that I didn't use within like my actual pages throughout the month, if that makes sense. So we went to dinner with my family to celebrate my grandparents' birthday, and that's what this section all is. And this is a test picture I took with my camera of a cozy coloring page that I did. Then this is just an outfit check. This is the hype sticker from the Nika Levens vinyl, and I didn't get to include it anywhere else, so it fit into here as well. And I also thought it would be a great way to kind of highlight some of my favorites from the month, so I just put down books, movies, and shows that I really loved the month marked rewatches. And then I also included my Receiptify, which is just a collection of like your most listened to songs from that month in the form of a receipt, so I also put that in here. And yeah, I feel like this is just a fun way to kind of just like make a creative page. And then we're moving on to my wrap up. Like always, I don't really have exciting stuff to say about this, except my printer acting up, so some of these pictures look a bit off, I know, but oh well. And I forgot to print out one. I don't know how that happens, but yeah, I'll put that at the end. And then we're in June, and for June my theme was purple with a hint of white, so that's the cover. And then I went to, this actually has to go in different order to explain to you, but I went to a signing for Aaron Blommaert. This is the spread that I made for that, with like a bunch of pictures, and then he signed my vinyl, so I put a picture of that in as well. This is actually taken with my mini camera. Isn't that fun? And it was at a bookstore, and Diddle, which was one of my staples from my childhood, is back after being gone for very long. So while we were at the bookstore, I also just bought some Diddle stuff, so I made this kind of cover page where Diddle is back on it in stickers. And then like I just showed you the sign-in page, and then this is the bag that everything came in, and then this is another thing that I got, and I just wrote about my day on it. I thought that was really fun. And then Niall Horan released his album Dinner Party, so of course also made a spread for that. Kind of went into this without a plan, but I think it looks really cute, so at least there's that. Then we have a review page for Love Arranged, which I'm not obsessed with. The page, I don't really love her turnout, but oh well. Then we have my library haul. I still have time to read these books, so that will be filled in, don't you worry. And then this is another kind of like junk page, because my mom and I went to the final Cadre Originals show, and again we put in like a 2-day Antwerp trip in because of that. So this is kind of like chunk collected from the first day where I bought the Nile vinyl. This is from the bag. Then we went to eat at La Patate, so I put out some stuff from that, and then some of the pictures I took with my minicam. And then this is from my train ticket. And then this is my spread for the Cadre Original show. And this one is kind of inspired by the spring page that I made, with these sides both having concert pictures on them, and then the middle having more fun stuff. I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, this is the front side. I just put a bunch of pictures from the concert, and then I went to the Cadre Original show in October as well, and you can see that in my last journal flip through. And for those spreads I used these washi hearts because it kind of looked like confetti, and I just really love how it turned out, so I kind of put it back in this one to kind of fulfill, you know, fill in the theme from that one. And then also use yellow, green, and yellow, blue, and pink as kind of like the color for the spread, which I also did for the last one. So there we go. And then because I already went back in October, I didn't really feel like putting in the set list again because that's in my previous spread, so I did this instead. These are hearts from a fan project, and then that's a picture of me and my mom covered up, a picture of my outfit, and then of the stage, and I put for Eric and Altijd because it's a Cadre song and I felt like it fits. And then of course more washi hearts, and then on this side we have more of like show pictures, washi hearts, and all of the goodness. And I just really love how this like pages turned out. And then we have another kind of like junky spread for the second day. Again, train tickets. We have some tags, some stuff that I bought. This is a picture of the bubble tea that I got, and then we have some packaging and some flyers and everything cut out. So I don't know, I think this looks cool as well. And then more reading sprints that I watched. Just, I don't know, I like keeping track of things. LL, this is my review page for The Long Game. LL, I also did a ranking of the series, and these stripes are supposed to represent each book in the series, you know, with the cover color, but I feel like it just kind of looks muddled and not great. I don't know if I love it. And then I vlogged my experience reading the series, so of course this also had to have a vlog recap page. And then I made this spread for You Seem Pretty Sad for Girls Who in Love, and I'm obsessed with this. I feel like this fit the album so well. So of course I have blue and pink to represent the album cover on the sides, and then I copied the font for the title and, you know, the Olivia Rodrigo and ranking stuff. I think it looks really cute. And then of course I wrote down my thoughts on the album, and then this is my ranking. And I also just love how I did the numbers on these ripped pieces of paper. And then I did another, one of my favorite spreads of this journal, and that's this one because ik had re-released De Zomer van Oya Lele, which is a song about kind of the place in their lives that they were when the song Oya Lele dropped. And I did the same because Oya Lele came out in 2003, so I just went through my old photo books and picked out a bunch of pictures from 2003, and that's what this is. I do have to say I don't have a lot of pictures of myself from the summer of 2003. I just have 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are it. The rest are from all over the year, but I thought this was so much fun to make, and I just loved going through my old pictures as well. And then I wrote my own verse to the song as well, which it's not great, but oh well. I do think there's a fun inclusion in here, and I love how I did like the rainbow background. It is very colorful and fun, and just, I don't know, I'm obsessed with this page so much, and not just because it has a bunch of pictures of me as a kid on it. And then I got some more washi tapes, so I did another swatch haul, and my mom also surprised me with some of these sticker sheets. So again, I put like, because it's only a couple, I didn't do like a full sticker dump, but I did do like the small one of some stickers I didn't like as much. Like truly, this is a cute sticker, but when am I ever going to use a sticker of a little box? Like, let's be real. So there we go. And then I read 13 Little Love Stories, which is an anthology inspired by Taylor Swift songs. So again, I wrote down my thoughts on each song. I wrote down my thoughts on each story, and then also a little bit of overall thoughts. And then I used this washi tape because it just reminded me of Taylor Swift. So there we go. And I did these quote pages for Less and Honeybee by Olivia Rodrigo. I was kind of debating between both of these songs because I really love both, and I didn't really know which one to go with, so I did both. And kind of a quote page is not necessarily the right word for it because these are just the full lyrics to both of the songs. And then I highlighted the title in both of them. Only one issue is that these just so happen to be two songs that barely mention the title at all, so it looks a bit off, but oh well. But I do also like how this ended up representing the You Seem Pretty Sad and then For Girls Who in Love sides of the album really well. So I don't know, I really love how this turned out. And then another page, I love how it turned out, and that's my summer TBR. I'm just putting my bookmark to the side for a minute, but this is so cute. I kind of, again, went into this without a plan, and it turned out very different from my other monthly, like, seasonal TBRs, but I still love it turned out. And yeah, I already read some books of it, so that's also great. And yeah, I'm gonna put the bookmark back in here because now that this like is going to retire, I'm still gonna have to refer back to this for a couple of months to be able to check off the books, obviously. And then we have some more reading sprints, and then this is when I started filming my last journal with me video. So in case you watched that, you know what these pages look like. But yeah, so if you want to know how these pages got made, you can go check that out. And yeah, this is a review page for the Dixon Rule. I wrote this in acrylic marker, and I don't love how that turned out, but for the rest, I do love this. Then I have this page for Trust of the Emerald Sea, which I also really like how it turned out. And my recap page for my cozy fantasy vlog. Then we have another category album ranking, this time for Roller Disco. And then my new music for June. Then a recap page for my 24-hour readathon. And then I also, while filming it, kept track of all my times and everything. So I also included that on this piece of paper that I just glued in. Then we have arrived to my recap page for June. So at the end of May, I got my mini camera, so that was just a one spread because I didn't really have a lot. But for June, I had it the entire month, so I took a lot of pictures, and this so I did a little Dutch door moment, but again, lots of family stuff that I ended up covering up. But this is a picture from the Alma signing. I feel like I had to commemorate me finishing the Game Changers series. I have some stickers to decorate, and then I have a whole side dedicated to the Cadre originals, because what else are you gonna do, you know? And then on the other side, I have my June favorites. I thought my Receptify turned out a bit small last time, so I made it much bigger. And then, of course, again, my favorite books, shows, and movies that I watched this month or read this month, with a rewatch symbol as well if that's necessary. And yeah, I just love how busy the recap side is and how kind of empty the favorite side. I feel like that contrast works together really well. And then we have my wrap up, obviously. So there we go. Let me just flip through it. It is very simple, and there we go. And then we have some mid-year check-in pages with my 5-star books of 2026 so far. And then I drew out my Storygraph stats because I'm nuts and it doesn't look great. Don't look at it. I feel like mathematically this isn't also the most correct, but oh well, I think it's fun and I think it is charming in its own way. So that's what this is. And then I also have my 2026 seasons ranked and my 2026 movies ranked. So these are things that also released this year and I watched this year, just my own personal ranking of them. And there we go. And then wrapping up the journal with a little quote page which says, "Don't smile because it happened, baby, cry because it's over. I want you to miss me, I want you to miss me," which is from Don't Smile by Sabrina Carpenter. And I hate how this turned out, so don't look at it too long. That brings us to the end of this notebook already. Oh my god, can you believe it? And yeah, that was this journal. I can't believe it is done. Like I said, it encapsulates so much time of my life in here because it is just such a big book, so it managed to capture a lot. I did a lot of new things in this. I had a lot of fun with it. I feel like so many great creative pages are in here, and I really hope you enjoyed the flip through. I will say I only did one journal with me on here for this journal, but I did do a whole lot on TikTok, which is always in the description, so you can go and check that out if you want to see how I made some of these pages. I did so many that I don't even remember exactly what pages I did a TikTok journal with me for, so I apologize. It's also captured so many times. How am I supposed to remember which ones? Like for example, in December I did a journal with me for, like, that's 6 months ago. You know, but everything's on there in case you want to go check it out. Also, fun fact, I have started a Instagram account for my journaling, which won't contain any content from this journal but will for my next one. This is my next one. It is a notebook from the Cadre Originals like merch line. They released a notebook, so of course I had to buy it, and I'm now using it as a journal, and I will be starting this from July 1st, which by the time I'm watching this I've already done like almost a complete month in here. This is much thinner. I don't think it says anywhere how many pages it is. That is kind of disappointing though. No, it doesn't, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But this is the front. It has an elastic, which I haven't had in quite some time, so I'm gonna see how that fares under, you know, how my books tend to like duplicate in size. And then this is the back, so I'm very excited to get started in this one, and I will be sharing what I make in here on that account, which is again in the description down below, so you can go check it out if you want to see my journey with it. And again, with my last journal with me that I made for this channel, I realized that I do quite like making longer form journaling content again, so I hope that maybe for this journal it will be in the future. But yeah, can you tell my favorite color is purple, by the way? Because I have 2 back-to-back purple journals. But anyway, that's everything for this journal. I am gonna be very sad to see it go into retirement, but it deserves it. Like I said, it's falling apart. It served me really well, and yeah, this is a sad moment, but let's say goodbye to the journal together, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Good.